7 years ago, I believed love could survive anything. I was 23, stupidly hopeful, and completely in love with Sophie Bennett. That night, we sat on the floor of my apartment surrounded by half-packed boxes. Sophie held a folded letter in her hands. "Say something, Ethan." I stared at the letter again. "London." "Yes." "For how long?" "I don't know." "That isn't an answer." "I know." I stood and walked toward the window. "You applied for this?" "6 months ago." I turned around. 6 months. Please don't look at me like that. How should I look at you? Like you understand. I'm trying. She stood slowly. "This is the biggest opportunity I've ever had." "I know. They're giving me a position people wait years to get." "I know that too." "Then why are you angry?" "I'm not angry." "You sound angry." "I'm scared." Her expression softened. "Ethan, I thought we were building something here." "We are." "How?" She came closer. "London doesn't erase us. It puts an ocean between us. People survive distance." "For a year." She looked away. My stomach tightened. "Sophie, how long is the contract?" 3 years. I laughed once, but nothing was funny. 3 years. It could be less. Or more. She stayed silent. "That's what I thought." She touched my arm. "I haven't accepted yet. Do you want to?" Her eyes immediately gave me the answer. "Yes." I nodded. "Then accept it." She blinked. "What?" "You heard me. But you're upset." "I'm terrified." "That doesn't mean I should destroy your dream." Tears filled her eyes. "You mean that?" "I love you." She hugged me tightly. "I love you too." I believed those words were enough. 3 days later, I drove her to the airport. Neither of us spoke much. When I parked, Sophie looked at me. "You can still tell me not to go." "No." "Why not?" "Because if you stay for me, someday you might hate me for it." "I could never hate you." "You don't know that." She smiled sadly. "Since when did you become wise?" "About 10 minutes ago." She laughed through her tears. "That sounds more like you." Inside the terminal, every announcement felt like a countdown. Sophie checked her passport. "I hate this." "So do I. I keep thinking I forgot something." "You packed everything." "My charger." "Front pocket." "My documents." "Blue folder." "My headphones." "Your handbag." She looked at me. "What about you?" "What about me?" "How do I pack you?" I tried to smile. "You don't." Her boarding announcement echoed above us. Sophie's face changed. "That's me." "I know." Neither of us moved. Finally, I took her hands. "I'll wait." She frowned. "Ethan, I mean it." "Don't." "I can do 3 years." "You don't know that." "Then 4. "Stop." "5 if I have to." She pulled one hand away. "Please stop." I stared at her. "Why?" "Because I don't want that promise." My chest tightened. "What are you saying?" She took my hand again. "I'm saying don't wait for me, Ethan. Live your life." I felt like the entire airport had gone silent. "You want me to date other people?" "I want you to live." "That isn't what I asked." "I can't ask you to freeze your life." "I'm offering." "And I'm saying no." I stepped back. "So this is goodbye?" "I don't know." "You must know something." "I know." Without Sophie taught me how slowly time could move. Every morning, I checked my phone before getting out of bed. Every night, I checked it again. Sometimes she called. Most times she didn't. Daniel noticed before anyone else. "You're doing it again." I looked up from my phone. "Doing what?" "Waiting for her name to appear." "I'm checking work emails." "At midnight." "Clients don't sleep." He shook his head. "You're terrible at lying." I wasn't lying. "You've refreshed that screen 6 times." I put my phone down. "Happy?" "No." "Why?" "Because Sophie told you to live." "I am living." "This isn't living, Ethan." "What would you call it?" "Waiting without admitting you're waiting." I hated him for saying it because he was right. During that first year, friends tried setting me up with women. I rejected everyone. "Just have dinner with her," Daniel said one Friday. "No." "Why?" "I'm not interested." "You haven't met her." "Exactly." He stared at me. "You think Sophie is coming home tomorrow?" I didn't say that. "You don't have to." 3 months later, Sophie called on my birthday. "Happy birthday." Hearing her voice nearly broke me. "You remembered." Of course I remembered. "How's London?" "Busy." "Amazing." "Terrifying." "Are you happy?" She paused. "I think so." I swallowed. "Good. And you?" "I'm fine." "Ethan." "What? Are you actually living?" I looked around my empty apartment. "Yes." Another lie. Our calls became less frequent after that. First, we spoke every week. Then every month. Eventually, birthdays became enough. By the second year, Even those conversations felt different. Happy birthday, Ethan. Thanks. Anything exciting planned? Dinner with Dad and Daniel. That sounds nice. What about you? Work mostly. There was silence. I finally asked, are you seeing anyone? She became quiet. Why? Just asking. I've gone on a few dates. The answer hurt, although I had no right to be angry. Oh, you told me you understood. I do. Do you? I said I do. After the call, I sat alone for nearly an hour. My father found me staring at Sophie's photograph later that evening. Michael sat beside me. You still carry that? In my wallet. Why? Because it matters. I didn't say it doesn't. Then what's the problem? The problem is you're treating a memory like a promise. I frowned. I loved her. You probably still do. So you understand. I understand love. I also understand punishment. This isn't punishment. Dad pointed toward the photograph. Loyalty becomes self-punishment when the other person isn't asking for it. I looked away. She might come back. She might. And then, if you're both free and still want each other, you'll decide then. That sounds simple. It isn't. He stood. But wasting your life won't make her love you more. I didn't remove the photograph. Not that night. Not that year. Then Emma Collins became part of my life. We had known each other casually through Daniel, but we became friends when my architecture job nearly disappeared during a company restructuring. She found me sitting outside the office after the announcement. You look terrible. Thank you. You're welcome. I laughed despite myself. She sat beside me. What happened? I might lose my job. That bad? Pretty bad. What are you going to do? I don't know. Good. I stared at her. Good. Now you can stop pretending you have every answer. That became Emma's strange gift. She never tried fixing me. She simply stayed. When I lost the job, she brought pizza. When Dad needed surgery the following year, she sat beside me in the hospital. You can go home, I told her. I know. You've been here 6 hours. I know. Emma. Ethan. I smiled. You're impossible. So I've heard. She never asked me to forget Sophie. One night, she noticed the photograph when I opened my wallet. That's her. I nodded. Sophie. She looks happy. She was. Do you miss her? Yes. Emma simply said, okay. I looked at her. That's all. What should I say? Most people tell me to move on. Would that help? No. Then I won't. By the 4th year, Sophie's birthday message arrived 2 days late. Sorry. Work has been crazy. Hope you're doing well. I stared at it. No call. No long conversation. Just words on a screen. I typed, I'm doing well. Hope you are too. That was our entire conversation. Something inside me finally became tired. A year later, I opened my wallet while sitting with Daniel. The old photograph was still there. He watched me carefully. You okay? I think so. I pulled it out. For 5 years, that photograph had followed me everywhere. I placed it inside my desk drawer. Daniel said nothing. Don't make this dramatic. I didn't say anything. You're thinking something. I'm thinking I'm proud of you. It's only a photograph. No. He smiled. It's permission. For what? To stop waiting. That evening, I never noticed exactly when Emma stopped feeling like just a friend. There was no dramatic moment. She simply became the person I wanted to call first. When I decided to open my own architectural design company, everyone called it risky. Emma called it overdue. You're really doing this? I looked around the tiny office I had rented. I think so. You think so? I signed a 3-year lease. She laughed. Then you better start thinking more confidently. I have 3 clients. You have 3 more than yesterday. I smiled. You always make things sound easy. They aren't easy. She handed me a coffee. You're just capable. Those words stayed with me. 3 months later, my first major client signed. I called Emma immediately. We got it. We. I froze. I got it. She laughed. No. I like we. You didn't design anything. I brought coffee. True. And emotional support. Mostly coffee. You're impossible. So I've heard. Emma's interior design business was growing too. One evening, she spread expansion plans across my kitchen table. I want another office. Where? Brooklyn. That's ambitious. That's your polite way of saying dangerous. No. I studied her numbers. You can do it. You think. I know. She looked surprised. You didn't even hesitate. Because your numbers work. You've been studying my business? Someone has to. She smiled. Thank you. For what? Believing before I did. A year passed quickly. Our businesses grew. So did something between us neither of us discussed. Sarah Mitchell noticed first. She was Emma's closest friend and business partner. One afternoon, she visited my office while Emma was helping choose furniture. Sarah watched us argue over chairs. This one? No. Why? It's ugly. It's modern. Modern can still be ugly. Emma rolled her eyes. Don't listen to him. Sarah laughed. I wasn't planning to. After Emma left to answer a call, Sarah looked at me. You two are ridiculous. What? You really don't see it? See what? She smiled. Never mind. No, tell me. Ask Emma. Ask her what? Sarah grabbed her bag. You'll figure it out. I didn't. Not until several weeks later. Emma and I were having dinner after finishing a difficult project. She seemed unusually quiet. What's wrong? Nothing. You're terrible at lying. I learned from you. Emma. She put down her glass. I need to tell you something. My stomach tightened. Okay. And I need you not to answer immediately. That sounds dangerous. I'm serious. So am I. She took a breath. I have feelings for you. I stared at her. She continued before I could speak. I didn't plan it. Emma, please let me finish. I nodded. I know about Sophie. My chest tightened at the name. I know part of you may always care about her. She was important. I know. Emma looked directly at me. But I won't become her replacement. You aren't. You haven't answered yet. I don't need time for that answer. Her expression softened. I don't want you choosing me because Sophie isn't here. I wouldn't. And I won't spend my life competing with a memory. You shouldn't. She nodded. That's all I needed to say. She stood. Where are you going? Home. You just changed everything and you're leaving? A small smile appeared. You asked me not to lie. I watched her leave. That night, I couldn't sleep. I opened the drawer containing Sophie's photograph. For the first time in years, looking at it didn't hurt. It simply felt old. Then I thought about Emma. She had been there when I lost my job. She sat beside me during Dad's surgery. She celebrated my first client. She listened when I failed. She never demanded anything. Sophie had been my first great love, but Emma had become my present without asking permission. The next morning, I went to her office. She looked surprised. You're early. I didn't sleep. That sounds unhealthy. Emma. She became serious. I thought about what you said. And I don't want you replacing anyone. Good. I want you beside me. She stared at me. Are you sure? No. She frowned. I smiled. I'm sure about you. I'm scared about me. That makes more sense. I want something real. So do I. But slowly. Very slowly. The morning after Daniel told me Sophie was back, I tried to work. I failed. Every time someone opened my office door, I looked up. By noon, I was angry with myself. 7 years had passed. I was engaged. I loved Emma. Sophie was part of my past. Then my assistant knocked. Ethan. Yes. There's someone here to see you. Who? Before she answered, I heard a familiar voice. Can I surprise him? My heart stopped. Sophie stepped through the doorway. For several seconds, neither of us spoke. She looked different. Older. More confident. Yet when she smiled, I remembered the 23-year-old woman standing beside me at the airport. Hi, Ethan. Sophie. She laughed softly. You look shocked. I am. I told you I'd come back someday. Those words pulled 7 years of memories into 1 second. I stood. When did you arrive? 2 days ago. How did you find me? Daniel wasn't difficult to convince. I almost smiled. That sounds like Daniel. She looked around. So this is yours? Yes. Walker Architectural Design. You remembered what I wanted. Of course. She walked toward the window. You actually did it. Eventually. I'm proud of you. Thank you. She turned toward me. For a moment, everything felt strangely familiar. Then her eyes moved to my hand. Her smile disappeared. What's that? I followed her gaze. My ring. Why are you wearing an engagement ring? The question surprised me. Because I'm engaged. She stared at me. To who? Emma Collins. Her face became pale. Emma. You remember her? Daniel's friend. Yes. When? I proposed 2 months ago. Sophie slowly sat down. You're getting married? In 6 weeks. She laughed nervously. You're serious. Completely. But. She stopped. But what? I didn't expect this. I remained silent. She looked at me. You're actually marrying someone else. Yes. How long have you been together? Almost 2 years. She shook her head. I don't understand. What don't you understand? Us. My chest tightened. Sophie, there hasn't been an us for 7 years. That's not true. When was the last time we spoke? She looked away. That doesn't mean what we had disappeared. I never said it disappeared. Then how can you marry someone else? I stared at her. Because my life continued. She stood. That easily? Easily. My voice hardened. You think 7 years was easy? I didn't mean that. I spent the first year checking my phone every morning. Ethan, I rejected dates because I thought you might return. I didn't know. You told me not to wait. Her eyes filled with emotion. I didn't mean it like that. I froze. What? She stepped closer. I didn't want to pressure you. You said, don't wait for me, Ethan. Live your life. I remember. You refused when I promised to wait. Because asking someone to wait sounded selfish. So what was I supposed to understand? That we loved each other. We did. We still could. I shook my head. Sophie, did you really believe I wanted you to forget me? You gave me freedom. I thought you'd choose to wait anyway. The words hit harder than I expected. You expected me to wait? She swallowed. Yes. For 7 years? I didn't know it would be 7. You dated other people. Her expression changed. How do you know? You told me years ago. That was different. How? Those relationships weren't serious. I stared at her. So you could move forward temporarily while I was supposed to remain here permanently? That's not what I'm saying. It sounds exactly like that. She wiped her eyes. I always thought we'd find our way back. So did I once. What changed? Time. That's all. No. I looked at the engagement photograph on my desk. Life changed. She followed my gaze. Emma was smiling beside me in the photograph. Sophie picked it up. She looks happy. She is. Do you love her? Yes. My answer came immediately. Sophie noticed. She placed the photograph down. You didn't hesitate. Why would I? Her voice became quieter. Because I'm here. I stared at her. Sophie, your return doesn't erase 7 years. But doesn't seeing me mean anything? It means a lot. Then maybe we should talk before you marry her. We're talking now. I mean really talk. About what? After Sophie left my office, I couldn't concentrate. Not because I wanted her back. That would have been easier to understand. Instead, I felt guilty. I had spent years believing that moving forward was what Sophie wanted. Now she was standing in front of me, hurt because I had actually done it. That evening, Emma noticed immediately. You're quiet. Long day. Ethan. What? Don't do that. Do what? Give me the safe answer. I looked at her across the dinner table. She put down her fork. Did you see Sophie? I froze. How did you know? Daniel called Sarah. Of course he did. Are you angry? No. Confused? Yes. Emma nodded. Do you still love her? I didn't answer immediately. Her expression changed. Thank you. For what? For not lying quickly. Emma. I mean it. I reached across the table. She was my first love. I know. A part of me will probably always care about what happened to her. I know that too. But I don't want her back. Emma searched my face. Are you sure? Yes. Then what's confusing you? Guilt. Why? Because she's hurt. Emma frowned. You feel guilty for being happy. When you say it like that, it sounds ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I almost laughed. She squeezed my hand. Listen to me. I'm listening. I won't marry a man who feels trapped by obligation. I don't. If you need time, take it. I don't need freedom from you. I'm giving it anyway. Emma, choose me because you want me, Ethan. Not because our invitations are printed. I stared at her. You really mean that? Completely. What if I walked away? Her eyes became wet. It would destroy me. Then why offer? Because love without choice isn't love. Those words stayed with me. 2 days later, Sophie called. Can we meet? I don't think that's wise. Please. Why? I found something. What? You'll understand when you see it. Against my better judgment, I met her at a cafe near Central Park. She placed an old notebook between us. I recognized it immediately. Our travel book. She smiled. You remember. How could I forget? We had written places we wanted to visit together. Paris, Rome, Tokyo, Edinburgh. Sophie opened a page. You wrote this. I read my handwriting. Someday, Sophie and I will see everything together. That was a long time ago. Does that make it meaningless? No. Then why can't we finish it? Sophie, you said we'd see Paris together. We were 22. You promised. I dreamed. What's the difference? A promise belongs to the future. A dream belongs to the people we were then. She looked hurt. Before she could answer, someone approached our table. Sophie, her face changed. A tall man smiled at her. Lucas, you disappeared after landing. I've been busy. He looked at me. Sorry. Lucas Reed. Ethan Walker. His smile faded slightly. Ethan. Sophie stood. Lucas, this isn't a good time. You're the Ethan? I looked at Sophie. The Ethan? Lucas laughed awkwardly. I've heard about you. Lucas. She sounded warning. What? He looked confused. You talked about him after you and James broke up. Silence. I looked at Sophie. James. Lucas immediately realized something was wrong. I should probably leave. No. I looked at him. You mentioned James. Sophie stood. Ethan, don't. Lucas looked between us. I assumed you knew. Knew what? He hesitated. Sophie dated James for almost 2 years. My eyes returned to Sophie. You never mentioned that. We weren't together. I know. Then why does it matter? It doesn't. She frowned. Then why are you upset? Because you expected me to wait. Lucas slowly stepped back. I'll call you later. After he left, I looked at Sophie. Were there others? Ethan. How many? Why does that matter? Because you stood in my office asking how I could move on. She looked down. I dated people. While expecting me to remain available? It wasn't like that. Explain it. I was trying to build a life. So was I. I always knew those relationships weren't you. But I was supposed to know that from another country? She said nothing. You told me to live. I know. And you lived. Yes. 3 days before my wedding, Sophie sent me one final message. Please meet me at the airport cafe. Just once. Then I'll leave you alone. I stared at the screen for several minutes. Emma was sitting beside me. You should go. I looked at her. You read it. You've been staring at your phone like it insulted you. I can ignore her. You could. Maybe I should. Emma shook her head. No. Why? Because unfinished conversations have a strange way of following people. I squeezed her hand. You trust me. Completely. The next afternoon, I entered the airport where Sophie and I had said goodbye 7 years earlier. Everything looked different. Yet somehow, everything felt familiar. Sophie was waiting at the cafe. She stood when she saw me. You came. You asked. Thank you. I sat across from her. She looked exhausted. When's the wedding? Saturday. So close. Yes. She stared at her coffee. Do you remember sitting here? I remember. You ordered something terrible. Airport coffee. She smiled weakly. You complained for 20 minutes. You laughed at me. I loved hearing you complain. For a moment, we were 23 again. Then reality returned. Sophie, why did you ask me here? Her smile disappeared. I need to understand something. What? She looked directly at me. Why couldn't you wait? I remained quiet. I always believed you would. You already told me that. I know. Then what answer are you looking for? The truth. I leaned back. You really want it? Yes. Because you asked me not to. Her eyes filled with tears. I didn't mean forever. You never gave me an expiration date. I thought you'd understand. Understand what? That I needed freedom without losing you. I stared at her. Listen to what you're saying. I know how it sounds. Do you? She wiped her eyes. I was young. So was I. I was scared. So was I. I didn't know what London would become. And I didn't know what staying behind would become. She lowered her head. I thought our love was stronger. It was strong. Then why wasn't it enough? Because love isn't a reservation. She looked up. What? You couldn't reserve my heart for someday, while living whatever life you wanted. I wasn't trying to use you. Maybe not intentionally. I loved you. I know. I never stopped. You dated other people. That doesn't mean I stopped loving you. Maybe it doesn't. Then you understand. No. I shook my head. I understand that you allowed yourself to change while expecting me to stay exactly the same. She started crying. I made a mistake. Before I could answer, someone approached our table. Sophie. I recognized Olivia Bennett immediately. Sophie looked surprised. Olivia. Her older sister pulled out a chair. You asked me to come. I didn't think you would. Olivia looked at me. Hello, Ethan. It's been a long time. Too long. Sophie wiped her face. I was asking him why he didn't wait. Olivia sighed. Sophie. What? You need to stop asking that. Why? Because he never promised to. He wanted to. And you told him not to. I didn't mean it. But you said it. Sophie looked away. Olivia continued. You moved to London. I know. You built a career. Yes. You dated James. Sophie closed her eyes. You dated Andrew. Olivia, please. You almost moved in with James. I hadn't known that. Sophie looked at me. It didn't happen. That isn't the point, Olivia said. Then what is? You gave yourself permission to explore every possible future while expecting Ethan to freeze his. Sophie whispered, I thought he'd always love me. Olivia's expression softened. He probably did for a long time. I nodded. I did. Sophie looked at me. Then when did it stop? I don't know. There must have been a moment. There wasn't. I thought about those 7 years. It happened slowly. My wedding morning arrived quietly. I expected nerves. Instead, I felt certain. Daniel adjusted my tie for the 3rd time. Stop moving. I'm standing still. You're breathing. I'll try to stop. He laughed. Don't. Emma might complain if I deliver a dead groom. I looked into the mirror. Do I look nervous? No. Really. You look annoyingly calm. Good. Daniel became serious. You saw Sophie? Yes. How did it go? We said goodbye. For real? For real. And you're okay? I nodded. I am. He studied me. I believe you. A knock came at the door. My father entered. 5 minutes. Daniel smiled. I'll give you 2 some time. After he left, Dad stood beside me. You remember what I told you 7 years ago? Wake up tomorrow. He smiled. You remembered. I hated that advice. I know. It sounded useless. Most good advice does when you're hurting. I looked down at my ring. I finally understand it. What? I kept waking up. Dad placed his hand on my shoulder. And eventually, I started living. Before he could answer, another knock came. Emma appeared. I stared at her. You're not supposed to be here. She smiled. I know. You're breaking wedding rules. Call the police. I laughed. Dad quietly left us alone. Emma stepped closer. You look handsome. You look incredible. I'm not even wearing my dress yet. You always look incredible. Good recovery. I took her hand. What happened? She looked nervous. I need to ask something before we walk out there. Anything. Do you have regrets? I knew exactly what she meant. No. Ethan. I'm serious. She searched my face. Not even about Sophie? I took a breath. Sophie was my first love. Emma remained silent. I'll never pretend she meant nothing. I wouldn't ask you to. I know. She helped shape part of who I became. Emma nodded. But first love doesn't automatically mean final love. Her eyes became wet. And me? You're the person I'm choosing with everything I know now. She smiled through her tears. That was dangerously romantic. I practiced. Liar. Completely. She hugged me. I love you. I love you too. Someone knocked. Emma. Sarah's voice came through the door. You're supposed to be getting married. Emma laughed. Coming. She kissed my cheek. See you at the altar. I'll be there. You better. I've done enough waiting. She smiled and disappeared. Minutes later, Daniel returned carrying an envelope. This came for you. From who? He handed it over. My name was written across the front. I recognized the handwriting. Sophie. Want me to leave? No. I opened it. The letter was short. Ethan. I won't attend today because your wedding deserves to belong completely to you and Emma. For years, I believed you had made me a promise simply because I wanted that promise to exist. You didn't. I asked you to live. You finally did. I understand now that loving someone doesn't give me ownership over the person they become after goodbye. Be happy. Sophie. I folded the letter. Daniel watched me. You okay? Yes. Really? I smiled. Really? What will you do with it? Keep it. He raised an eyebrow. Why? Because not every memory needs to be destroyed. The music began. Daniel opened the door. Ready? I looked toward the church. Completely. When Emma appeared at the aisle, everything else disappeared. She smiled at me. I smiled back. When she reached me, she whispered, Still no regrets? Ask me again in 50 years. She laughed. I will. We exchanged vows. When my turn came,